Hi everyone, Rishi this side. Today we'll look into this cool hover effect and let's see how we can create such kind of micro interactions in Figma. I'll be showing you a few simple techniques which you can use in any other projects. So let's see how it's done. Here you can see I have a reference image, few cutout PNGs, the logo, and an ink splatter which we'll use to create a cool background. So let's just draw a frame more like a vertical tile, maybe 280 by 360. This is going to be our game tile. Now let's start putting all these elements and arrange them in proper order. Cut and paste everything, center line. Now let's just start moving things around a bit. So this is going to be our main character, which will pop out like this. So before doing anything, let's turn off the clip content from our parent frame. Here we'll place our logo. And let's resize these two characters. So once you are happy with the placement, let's start to look around what are the elements which we want to show, which should grow out of our parent frame and which should remain inside the limits of our parent frame. So if we see the original design, here if we mouse over the game tile, the main characters comes out and the other two are hiding behind it, and we are moving them apart a bit. And right now it's in the black and white format, and once we hover, everything becomes colorized. So let's see how we can separate out elements based on their interaction. Let's draw one more frame. It should be equal to the main parent frame, the width and height. And let's call it BG. We can move the logo out. Let's move it down. We can put the ink splatter inside it, and we can put our other two characters also inside this. So now when we resize and move things, our characters won't flow out of our parent frame, and our main character, we can achieve the same effect which we have used in the original design. Now here's a problem. My ink splatter is not in the yellow color, which how it's looking in the original design. To colorize this, we can just put it in a group, call it mask, and let's draw a rectangle with yellow fill. Let's put it inside this ink splatter group. Let's create a mask. Now you can see our red splatter has been colorized to yellow color. The whole game tile, we can pick the color from the image itself. Let's create one more rectangle. Overlay. Make it linear, and let's pick the same color which we used for our background. Make sure the main character is aligned center. So if you can see, we have our logo overlay, our main character, our other two secondary characters, and a background fill with some ink splatter on that. Now to create that black and white effect, let's draw one more rectangle on top of everything. Let's put it above all the elements, and let's rename it to black and white layer. We can just make the fill 0, and let's change the blend mode to color. Now let's create the hover effect. we can convert this game tile into a component, and let's create a hover state by creating a variant. So let's see the effect one more time. When we hover over the tile, the main character scales up, the other two moves aside, and everything is colorized. So let's try to create that in the hover state. We can turn off the black and white layer. We can scale up our main character. Let's move to the center. We can turn off the clip content for the component group, and let's move these characters side a bit, or maybe we can move them inside and move up a bit just to hide this cutout area. Let's move our gradient a bit more up, and maybe we can scale up the ink splatter. Cool. Now let's jump into the prototype window and add the interaction. And let's change it to mouse enter. You can also use hover as well. I personally prefer using mouse enter because sometimes we have a lot of elements in the prototype or in the design where we have multiple hover states. In that case, the while hovering event, it creates problems sometimes. So I use mouse enter and mouse leave. That has worked for me every single time. Okay, so for mouse enter, change this state to hover, and similarly we'll drag the connection to the default variant, and here we'll say mouse leave, change it to default. Now one important thing we need to maintain here is to achieve that animated effect, we need to change our transition from instant to smart animate. We can maybe increase the time a bit, and let's call it is in and out. Similarly for mouse leave as well, we'll change the transition to smart animate, increase the time a bit, is in and out. Now let's drag a copy out here, draw a test frame, and let's see how it's working. You can either play from here, or we can see preview in the work mode itself. So as you can see, we have achieved the same cool hover effect with few simple techniques, and you can use the same technique to make such kind of animations. So one important thing we need to keep in mind here is that when we use smart animate, we need to keep the layer names same. So let me just show you what I mean. So let's say if I change the name from FIFA character 1 to FIFA, right? And now let's see the animation won't work as it was working previously because the name has been changed. So keep in mind, while using smart animates, keep the layers name same, and it's always good to name your layers properly. So let me show you the breakdown of the original tiles as well. Here also, if you see, I have one black and white layer, I have the logo and overlay underneath it, and one character and one background. In the hover state, I'm just scaling up the main character, turning off the black and white layer, and moving things around a bit. Similarly, you can see the same technique has been used in the other tiles as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks again for watching.